Hi, good afternoon and welcome to my channel. I was recording on my phone, which decided to bite the dust, but I'm gonna try and see how far I can get on this one. I'm using my Samsung tablet to record because they're smaller and I'm not at home, and my camera, I can't find the cord to use it to upload the videos to the TV. Okay, so as I was saying in my video previously that I cut off, Kato had to go in and service the lady, the white lady who gave the party. Anyway, they decided, even though they were gonna run away, they were gonna do it in a smart way. They had decided this before. So what they want to do is make some fake papers. When they make the fake papers, to give it a sense, a kind of make it look real, authentic, they are going to steal the stamp so that they can use the stamp, to put the official stamp on the paperwork, so that, and they are running away. But if they are walking, and maybe they're walking and they get come upon by a party of slave catchers or whatever, they can show the paper and say they got the paper from the massa and they are going somewhere, or they were freedom paper, whatever the case may be in regard to the paper. So that's what they want to do. So in order to steal the paper, they steal the stamp to get to the stamp, because the stamp is kept up in the big house. So in order to get the stamp, they need access to the big house. Now, if for anybody who knows a little bit about slave history, the field slaves don't normally go up to the big house, and Noah is a field slave, and all of the other slaves are field slaves. So the big house, the slaves upon the big house are different slaves from the field slaves. So they do pass through from time to time, but if you don't have any reason to be up there, because you're a field slave and you're supposed to be out in the field working. So they were trying to brainstorm how they would be able to get the seal, so that they'd be able to stamp the paper to give it a more official look. Rosalie is in love, or in like, or catching feelings, whichever way you want to put it, for Noah. She likes the look of Noah because in the previous episode, the first episode, if you remember, if you watched the first episode, she had been the one they had sent to take care of his wounds when he came back from the trip that the master had sent him on, but he had tried to see how far he could get. That's all rather fuzzy. They just grazed over that. He said he was running, but he appealed to the master and he said that no, he wasn't running. He got lost. He got turned around. So the master said to him that you have made this trip a number of times. How could he have gotten lost or turned around, or and he feigned I'm just a poor slave, I don't know much, and whatever his act was. Anyway, so when she had come to take care of his wound, she realized that he actually didn't have any wound. He was limping like he kept limping like he had a wound on his leg. So when she came to take care of the wound, she realized that there was no wound there, and that's where their friendship started. So the friendship started there. Anyway, Rosalie was at the dance also, and they had a moment at the dance, and he said, "Run with me." Sweeter words have never been spoken. I guarantee you. Sweeter words have never been spoken. Run with me. And that's how episode 2 ended. On to episode 3. It begins with Noah and his friend, they were at church. It's Sunday. Sunday is a day of rest on the plantation. It's a day of rest for the master and the house slave and the field slave. Everybody get a day of rest. You go to church, you rest up because the following week, Monday, you're gonna go back to work. So everybody have a time to rest. The masters go to their church. I'm gonna call them masters because that's what the slave on the plantation call them. The masters go to church, and the field slaves do go to church with them, but the church, they're like outside of the church while the master is inside the church. But the field slaves don't go to church. They are in a glade or in the garden or in a nice place far away from where the church is, and they are having their own sermon by a river, and it's a beautiful location. The setting is really nice, and he's telling them things out, telling them, the preacher, the pastor, is telling them, the black pastor is telling them all the stuff. The black pastor is played by, oh my God, I can never remember his name. His name is Michael Tia Washington. I can't say it, I'm sorry. It's Bubba Shrimp. That's what I remember, sorry. But he's telling them about the passages of the Bible and all the whatever is going to happen, and greener pastures and more beautiful things is going to happen, whatever. That if was from the past, the Bible. While he's doing all of that, Noah is talking to his friend. They're like brainstorming there. They're in church, so there's no overseer to see what they're doing. So they are basically trying to figure out a way to cross a bridge. There's a bridge that is in their way to get to freedom. So they are trying to figure out a way to cross the bridge. They are also having a conversation about how and when they're going to run and what time they're going to run, and and then it comes to Noah that on Sunday, it's a day of rest. They're not going to expect to see any of them. They're not supposed to be at work. They're not going to be at work on the Sunday. So he goes, we will run the following Sunday. From this Sunday, we will run the Saturday night, because nobody will expect them to be gone. Nobody will expect to be looking for them. So they are going to run the Saturday night. So with the way the plan is, as it is right now, that's a good head start. They'll have nearly a day and a half worth of head start. If nobody looks for them on in the thinking, if nobody looks for them on the Sunday, they will have nearly a day and a half head start to get to a number of the points and do the stuff that they need to do. But the river that is in their way for them to cross, they have to figure out how to cross the river. So they knotted up a rope. They made a rope. Noah is, using his hands. He's using his imagination. He's one determined person. He's gonna run. He's gonna figure out a way. He's gonna put together the running, and he's gonna get the heck up out of there. Anyway, so he knot this rope. He twists the rope into a thick enough rope so that he can run. He can make harness with the rope, not run. Make harness with the rope to hold each of them while they are crossing over the river. Apparently, that's the part that always gets the slave going into the river. Because going into the river, it's a deep river, and a lot of black people don't swim. So going into the river would be the crossing the river and those things. So Noah, he takes it into the shed, the wood shed of Sam. Take this to the wood shed of Sam. Sam is the blacksmith on the plantation. I hope I got his name right. Sam is the blacksmith on the plantation. And he takes it to him he climbs up in the rafters, because Sam is explaining to him that the rafters were built the exact same time that they built the bridge. So the strength of the rafter will be the boards will be the same strength and with the same kind of board was used to build the rafters. So he's up there trying to use the harness to see how strong the harness is, but the harness breaks, so he has to come back down. So that's a work in progress. So they are gone to work on that again. Anyway, the preacher slash pastor wife, goes to Rosalie and tells her that Noah needs her to steal the stamp. And no, not the preacher wife. Not the preacher wife. Sorry, Sam goes to Rosalie and is trying to dissuade her, tell her not to run because she's a soft girl. She's a different kind of. She's not used to the hard life. She doesn't know what it's like to have suffering, to have strife, and do whatever. He's trying to dissuade her from running because he said Noah told him that she wanted to run with them. So he's trying to dissuade her from running, and he's saying, don't run, don't, and she said she's tired of living in the big house because she's living in somebody else's house, and you don't know the amount of strife and how much the mother has to give up for them to stay in the big house and for certain things to happen. Because some in that day and age, you are in the big house, you're a different kind of you got different things, you get better food to eat, you get this, you don't care what happened, you threw me out of the house, you send me whatever, a lot of feelings were hurt by the things that happened between the big house people who worked in the big house and people who worked in the fields or whatever, because they were looked upon as better than the field work. And the sad part of it was they chose a certain type of people to work in the big house, or a certain looking people to work in the big house, which also leads to a lot of problem that blacks have with each other based on the color and their skin and how dark they are and how light they are. So that's another thing that also came out of slavery. Anyway, she decides, so he says to her, you're going to have to put up or shut up because Noah wants you to steal Massa's stamp. And she goes, she is like, what? Steal Massa's stamp? I don't think I want to do that. But she decided that she's going to run. She is going to run. She's going to make up her mind. And she's going to put it on the line. She's going to take a chance. She's going to run. She didn't know where the stamp was or anything to do with the stamp. But good fortune for her smiled on her. She had to serve the Massa drink. And the slave trader came into the Massa's library and was asking the Massa some question because the guy destroyed the axle and the wheel and he needed the wheel fixed and whatever and all that stuff. But she saw where the Massa put the stamp and where he kept the stamp it's a stamp pad with wax. So he has a candle that he just melts the candle and then he put the stamp in the wax, and that's his seal. Back in those that was his seal back in those days. So she knew where the stamp was. She was like, "Yes, I'm gonna get the stamp," and she got this. She saw where it was. Anyway, the day came for her to steal the stamp. This is all about Rosalie and Rosalie, your name is bad luck. So she stole the stamp, and she got the stamp. The preacher's wife, she came up and she's like, I got those papers to sign. So long, as soon as you can steal the stamp. Massa just done gone down to visit, gone down to the fields. So Rosalie, all eyes, all big eyes, and timid and care. Anyway, she goes into. She said the preacher wife, very smart, says, so long as Mrs. is playing, you have time to steal the stamp. So long as the missus is playing, you have time to steal the stamp. When she stopped playing, you have to make sure the stamp is back by the time she stopped playing. Rosalie goes into the study to steal the stamp. Poor Rosalie. The stamp is, she can't find the stamp. She can't find the stamp. She can't find the candle. She can't find anything. She's searching top and bottom, left and right. She's making a mess of the decks. She's moving things left. She's opening drawers. The music stops. Rosalie nearly died. She's like, because she thought the missus was done playing. And anyway, she wasn't done playing, but so she had to wait a few minutes, and then the music started back up. Then she had another chance to search again, and then she finally found the stamp. Then she couldn't find the wax, so she had to search again. But finally, she looks on the ground. The wax fell on the ground after the master finished using it. So she took the wax out, and she gave it to the preacher's wife. And the preacher's wife, while they're there, the preacher's wife, they're there, doing the ink thing and stamping. Rosalie's asking the preacher, how does she know? How do you know you're in love? And then the preacher wife proceeds to give her a little story about her and the preacher and how they fell in love and stuff. While this is going on, the master heads into the blacksmith shop. But when the master is like coming into the door, you hear the blacksmith with Sam saying, you shouldn't involve her, she don't know nothing about none of this or whatever. But so the master goes, you're talking to yourself, Sam? And he goes, oh, it's poor Sam. I think if they ever catch Sam run, Sam is such a scaredy cat, but he might be a lot tougher than he looks. And the master is down there, is in there, and Sam is like, oh, master, how are you? And he said, the master backs off his jacket and he goes, I've come to give you a hand, Sam, and getting this thing fixed quickly. And Sam is like, oh, no, master, you're not going to do that, master. You're not going to help me. You're not going to get your hand dirty. And master's like, oh, I love working in this place. Sam is trying to get rid of the master. Finally, they do a wide shot and you see why Sam is trying to get rid of the master, because up in the ceiling is Noah trying out the harness again. And I am like, oh my God, Noah is in the ceiling trying out the harness. The master is on the ground. Sam is over there having conniptions. And what is going to happen? Oh, hold on, Noah. Hold on. That's me. Hold on, Noah. Hold on. He's like holding on to the harness for the good. Finally, the gun from the widow decides to drop. I don't know why he's walking around with the gun. I'm kind of like confused to that. I don't know what the thinking was with the gun in his waist, but I don't know. He's on the plantation where no slave is going to say that they saw him with a gun. What happens if one of the overseers see him with the gun in his waist? But anyway, he has the gun in his waist. And while he's hanging up there, the master is down there helping the slave, because he's manly and he used to love being in the work in that area, and he loved being down there, loved spending time down there. And he's reliving his memories from working hard, never, but he's really reliving his memories, and he's talking to Sam, and he's deciding that he's gonna do the gun decides to fall out. The quick reflexes of Noah grabs the gun before it hits the ground, so he never got caught. So when the master is leaving, the master turns to Sam and goes, I think you should have there's a little boy in the show. I'm not even too sure what his name is, but he's He belongs to the lady, the housekeeper lady, black lady. And he turns to him and he said he should have the little boy come down there and work with him. Now, I didn't say anything about it, but in episode 2, the black lady told him what to do because the housekeeper, has the master ticket. And you better believe she got his ticket. That girl was beating on that master in episode 2. I was like, oh, damn, master is a freak. Yes, he is. Master is a freak. And that lady got his freak ticket. Anyway, she told him that she think the little boy should go work in the shed with Sam. Come to find out that Sam he's probably his son or one of the other people. One is her son too. So Massa might be his father because in those days they would have kids from really, really early. So Massa might be Sam's father also, but he can definitely know he is the little boy's father and he is the girl. He is Rosalie's father because she don't sleep with nobody but Massa. And there ain't no other brown slave on that plantation except Kato. So, if they're going to say those kids belong to Kato, no, they don't. No, they don't. They belong to Massa. But because they're nice and light and you can see that they're nice and light. Anyway, the mother does a lot to keep them safe, to try and keep them safe. The mother does, but it will never be written off because of all the circumstances, how she wields her power and where she wields her power. In the bedroom. Yes, it is. And behind closed door. Let's say behind closed door with Massa. And she gets a few things done. Anyway, back to Rosalie and the stamp. By this time, the lady is finished playing the piano and Rosalie hurry up and comes out. After they're finished, they have literally finished doing all of the stamping stuff, and Rosalie comes out of the hurries back into the house to put the stamp back before Master gets there. And that amazes me. I'm gonna comment about everything, but no matter how near Master was, he wasn't that near to the house, so he shouldn't have reached back in the house before Rosalie. But this is the way, as I said, it's one of the plot lines or the sequence or whatever to move the story along. Rosalie opens the door to the library to put back the stamp, and there is Massa sitting in his chair. Rosalie, did you need something? She is batshit shocked, can't talk, can't move, because she don't know what to say, because she didn't expect to see him in there. Anyway, come to find out, we cut to the master. He has assembled all the slave, every single slave, and they're outside holding up huge planks, and the master going, as soon as the plank drops, before the plank drops, or as soon as each set of people, slaves, there was like 4 sets of slaves holding up planks, who are holding up the planks, the last plank drop, you better give me back my stamp. Because if you don't give me back my stamp, everybody here gonna get beat. Everybody there gonna get beat. So they have them all lined up there. While they have them lined up there, before, to be exact, they are so damn. The old slaves got lined up during the day. So because they couldn't find the stamp. And Mistress decided she wanted to line up all the house slaves, and the housekeeper was to search each of them, and she wants the stamp found because Massa wants his stamp back. So she lined up everybody out there, and they searched Massa. She searched each of them, but Rosalie was jittery and doing weird stuff. So the mother was looking at her because that mother is smart. She is smart, and she knows something was going on with Rosalie. But anyway, she searched everybody and the stamp wasn't found. So one of them to throw, I don't know if it's to throw Mrs. off or whatever. She said, earlier on in the day, Mrs., there was a feline slinking up here. And the lady said, which one is the feline? She said, I don't know rightly which one it was. Anyway, says they must search the entire. They have to go. Everybody must go search the entire place for the stamp. So the mother goes to Rosalie and says, "Rosalie, where's the stamp?" She said, "Where's the stamp?" And Rosalie goes, "Oh, I whack her." She just gave her a whack. She said, "You lied to me again, and I'll kill you in it." Well, she didn't say kill you. Lie to me again, and you'll see. Where's the stamp? Rosalie took the stamp and dropped it into a pot of, I don't even know if it's molasses or what the hell she dropped it into. I think it was molasses, something she dropped it into. It looked like molasses to me. She dropped it in. Anyway, the mother fished the stamp out. And when she fished the stamp out, she said to Rosalie, I'll figure this out. Anyway, you see some crumbs on the ground and and you hear the lady quarreling and carrying on. And what's going on? It's only to find the little white boy on the ground making a mess, and he's got the stamp all thrown on the ground. And the lady is like, "Where did you get that stamp?" The little boy goes, "From Papa's desk." That's the white boy. He goes, "From Papa's desk." And she can't say nothing because it's her son. She can't order him to be beaten to the tips of his life. She can't do that because it's the master's son. So she goes, "Tell them, clean this mess up." Very upset. "Clean this mess up. And somebody go tell master that we've done found his stamp." And so when she goes, she marches off with the stamp. And the mother takes a coin out of her pocket and gives it to the little white boy. Now, you see, we suckled them. She suckled him. I'll tell you something else. She probably was his wet nurse. And he will do as much for her as he can for a price, or she for a reward, because she is more like the person who takes care of him. Yeah, that mother works. Yes, she does. She works. Anyway, Rosalie, I don't know. She must have been having anxious thoughts and things, and when she is, she's sitting there feeling bad for herself, feeling sad that she almost got all of them beaten, and she's moaning, she's moping around, and anyway, she finishes and she leaves the slave quarter and ends up walking. I don't know why she ended up walking past that goddamn overseer's shed. Even a blind person could see that all that overseer wants to do is hurt her because she thinks, according to him, she thinks she's better than him. Anyway, to cut a long story short, because I'm already at a long story point, she is there and he's talking about his dead wife and feeling sad, and how his dead wife, he couldn't even do this for his dead wife, and anyway, she feels bad. She has a tender heart. She feels sorry for him. She goes, "I'll cut some flowers and put that on the grave," and he walks up closer to her and "You do that," and then he goes, well, you know what else happened. Next minute, he's saying something, "You don't even look at me because you think you are better than me. That's why you don't look at me." I don't know how he reached it. Something you don't understand how people reach this point that they reach. But he reached the point where he goes, you're not looking at me. She's holding her head down, which I'm thinking, if a white man is talking to you, normally is looking down in those days and day and age. You're looking down, you're holding your head down because you know what, next thing you know, he comes to, but that's exactly what happened. He came to a different point of thought from what she actually was doing. She was just holding her head down because out of deference, and so he goes, "You think you're better than me?" And eventually him and her start to wrestling, and he wrestles her into the house, and you hear things falling down and things dropping down. They didn't show us what was happening in the room. You hear things wrestling, and then you see a slave passing by who's like, "Ooh, there's a lot of noise," because she was saying, "Let me go." She was making noise like, somebody was going to be assaulted. And so she was making noise, and the slave was like, I heard that, but I ain't hear that. And they walking fast. Noah is coming back from fishing in the pond, in the pond with his friend. So he says, I'm gonna take the long way home. The long way apparently is past the overseer's house. So he's walking past the overseer house, Oh, that's Rosalie. We gotta run now. What do you mean you gotta run now? The overseer is dead. Because Rosalie, fighting for her virtue, has killed the overseers. Yes, she killed him dead. So she and Noah takes off running, and that's where it cuts. That's where it ended. I know I did a lot of talking and rambling on, and this is a long video. You might not be able to. I might cut it into edit in two parts. So I do part 1 and part 2. But they have run off. They have run ahead of time because they were supposed to run on the Saturday night, which would have given them a big cushion for when the slave catchers would start to look for them. But now they're going to end up running on Tuesday night, I think it was Tuesday. So they ended up running on that night, which is not a good night to run. So they have no run. So next week episode, which comes on Wednesday night, because I didn't get it right in my first video, it comes on Wednesday night. Okay, so that episode is gonna show them running. It's gonna show them running, and we're gonna be following them running, and while they're on there running, while they're oh boy, while we're gonna be following them on their journey, and we're gonna see what happened. Well, this is only, and then we're gonna see all the rest of runaways get to them, because this was only 2 of them running. There's supposed to be a number of them running. So I want to see how if they decide to, the other 5 decide to run with them, and if they catch, how they catch up with them, because okay, whatever. But he's basically the only one who knows the map. He kind of figured it out too. Okay, thanks for watching. Comment, say something. Thanks for watching.